Chapter 6. The Great Story. Behind him, loud sounds of musical instruments and songs were audible. The monkey army was celebrating their victory and the Rakshasa clan was celebrating their new king who promised a new era of justice and development. But Hanuman wasn't a part of this celebration. His mission was far from over. His happiness depended on Lord Rama's happiness. And, at this point in time, two worries preoccupied Lord Rama: reunion with Sita and reunion with Bharata. As Hanuman walked towards Mother Sita, a constant thought on his mind was genuine appreciation for Lord Rama's sensitivity. Once the coronation of Vibhishana had taken place, Lord Rama instructed Hanuman to go to U.S.A and bring Sita. As soon as he received the order from Lord Rama, Hanuman sprang to his feet and sprinted away. Just then, Lord Rama stopped Hanuman and called him back. Hanuman returned obediently and stood next to Lord Rama. Lord Rama told him, "Vibhishana is the king of Lanka now. Without his permission you should not venture into the inner sections of the city." How sensitive Lord Rama was. No wonder, people were ready to offer their lives at his beck and call, thought Hanuman. Spotting Hanuman enter the U.S.A, the 700 demonesses who were guarding Sita stood up and parted way, allowing him to easily reach Sita. In each of their minds, the discomforting vision of his previous visit began to play out again. Knowing well that everything had changed in Lanka in the last 7 days, the demonesses chose not to interfere with him. Noting the distinct change in their attitude, Hanuman walked towards Mother Sita, smiling. He informed her about the death of Ravana and the well-being of her beloved Rama. He happily announced that she was now free to return to her waiting husband. As promised, her husband had rescued her from this calamity. Tears of joy poured from Sita's eyes as blessings poured from her heart for Hanuman's assistance in her rescue. As Sita prepared to leave, Hanuman stopped and asked her a question. He sought her permission to kill all the 700 demonesses who had harassed her during her 10-month stay in Lanka. He wanted to know how she preferred these people to be killed. Should he scratch them with his nails? Should he beat them with his fist? Should he smash them with his mace? Should he burn them with fire? Should he throw them into the ocean? Sita smiled and answered, "The mistake of a helpless servant is considered to be the mistake of his instructive master. These demonesses had no choice but to torture me. They didn't trouble me out of choice but out of compulsion. I wouldn't attribute the cause of my suffering to someone else, but, rather, accept it as a consequence of my previous karmic action. In fact, the greatness of a person lies in his ability to forgive wrong action and not retaliate with another wrong action. Let me tell you a story which will help you understand this thought better." Sita continued with a smile. Long back, there was a hunter in the forest, in search of his prey, when a tiger attacked him. Desperate to save his life, the hunter began to run at a frantic pace. Finally, finding himself unable to outsmart the tiger in the chase, he decided to climb a tree. On reaching the tree's top branch, he felt relieved to have been saved from the clutches of the tiger. That's when he noticed someone sitting next to him. In his desperation, he was blinded to the fact that on the same tree, there resided a huge bear. The bear had climbed up and settled down next to him on the same branch. The hunter trembled in fear, seeing a deadly beast stare at him from such a close distance. For a moment, he considered escaping by jumping down, but then he saw the open mouth of the tiger awaiting his arrival. He didn't know what to do. In great fear, he folded his hands and began to piteously beg the bear to be merciful to him. Surprisingly, the bear agreed and shifted a little further away from him. Seeing the reaction of the bear, the tiger standing below, signaled the bear to throw the man down. The bear flatly refused. The tiger tried to convince him by stating that human beings are common enemies of all animals in the jungle and that he shouldn't show mercy to these selfish beings. But the bear was an animal of strong principles. The tiger gave up and decided to wait under the tree. Meanwhile, the bear went to sleep while the hunter couldn't sleep a wink. After a couple of hours, the tiger signaled to the hunter to throw down the sleeping bear and promised not to harm him if he does so. The human considered merit in the tiger's words and decided to save his life by feeding the bear to the hungry tiger. With one hard shove, the man pushes the bear down the tree. But being very agile, the bear somehow caught hold of a lower branch of the tree and swung back to safety, avoiding the tiger. Once again, the hunter began to panic seeing the bear climb up towards him. The tiger ridiculed the bear's compassion for a selfish human being and urged him to throw him down immediately. The bear sat up on a branch and told the tiger that a virtuous soul does not give up good conduct, no matter how badly others treat him. Once a person has taken shelter, he should never be abandoned, no matter what happens. Why should he give up his goodness because of the hunter's badness? O Hanuman, if a bear can think in such an exalted manner, why can't we human beings learn to forgive the mistakes others commit? I forgive these demonesses who were innocent and were acting under the influence of Ravana. Tears gushed down Hanuman's cheeks when he heard the magnanimous thoughts of Mother Sita. Now he started analyzing who was more sensitive between Lord Rama and Mother Sita. He quickly concluded that Mother Sita was definitely a million times more sensitive than Lord Rama for having shown sensitivity to those who harmed her. Soon Sita was reunited with Lord Rama and both of them felt great ecstasy in being back together again. There was still a deadline that Lord Rama had to meet. Bharata had warned him that if he did not return on the day the 14-year exile got over, he would end his life. Lord Rama decided to borrow the Pushpaka Vimana that was in Vibhishana's possession now for his return to Ayodhya. Even though the aircraft could fly at the speed of thought, Lord Rama had to make several stops owing to his commitment to many sages. Somehow, he had to ensure that Bharata would delay his decision of jumping into the fire to end his life. He sent his disaster management team ahead, the one-person team. The weak seek revenge, the strong offer forgiveness. A firefighter. As he stood in front of the burning pyre, he recalled everything that had transpired in the last 14 years. Something in his heart told him that his brother might never come back. He was an ascetic. Anyway, whatever it was, he had a vow to execute. So what if Lord Rama was attached to his vows and lifestyle? Even he had the right to be attached to his own vow. He had very clearly told Lord Rama during their last meeting at Chitrakoot that he wouldn't wait a day more once 14 years of exile were completed. If Lord Rama delayed even by a day, he would end his life. Today was that day. A few minutes were left for the day to end and there was no sign of Lord Rama's return. He was ready to accept the unacceptable. As the clock ticked away, Bharata grew more anxious. Shatruna, his brother, all the ministers of Ayodhya and the prominent citizens had no idea how to prevent the determined Bharata from jumping into the fire. They could only pray that God would send some messenger to delay this fiery ordeal. Above Bharata, on the branch of a tree sat Hanuman, wondering what to do. Lord Rama had sent him to inform Bharata of his return, but before he could do that, Bharata was already preparing to end his life. He recalled how a few weeks back, he was sitting on a tree like this, looking at Mother Sita contemplate suicide. And today, he saw Bharata do the same thing. Whenever he had come across dead ends in his adventures, he had used the same solution and it had always worked. When the monkeys were unable to decipher what to do at the ocean shore, they had narrated Ramakatha and Sampati had arrived to their rescue. When Mother Sita tried to end her life, he had again narrated Ramakatha, giving her hope to continue living. And today, as he watched the calamity unfold, he knew what to do. Immediately, he began narrating the Ramakatha from the beginning of Rama Lila till the point where Lord Rama had reached Bharadwaja Muni's ashram, while on his way to meet Bharata. When Bharata heard the sweet narration of his brother's pastimes, he abandoned the idea of ending his life. Hope had returned to Ayodhya and the messenger of hope had saved every member of Lord Rama's family from disaster. He had saved Mother Sita by bringing her the message of Lord Rama. He had saved Lord Rama by bringing him the news of Mother Sita's safety. He had saved Lakshmana by bringing the magical herbs from the Himalayas, and now, he had saved Bharata by bringing the news of Lord Rama's return. Just as electric shocks are used by a doctor to revive a dying heart, similarly, inspiration is used by a well-wisher to revive dying hope. The real diamond. A Thanksgiving ceremony was organized after Lord Rama's coronation as the king of Ayodhya. However, a thought had been troubling the divine couple for many months now. So many people had served them with selflessness. But they hadn't been able to reciprocate adequately as they themselves had nothing in their possession to give away. Of course, they shared the love they had within their hearts, but now that they had resources, they wanted to offer more. Each and every friend was called upon and duly honored. Lord Rama made the announcement that though each one of them was being awarded, the value of the gift was insignificant compared to the valuable service each of them had rendered in the past months. They chose to offer the last recognition to the most submissive and heroic personality who had, by now, become their favorite. When he was called, Hanuman walked up to the throne with his head cast downward as Lord Rama and Sita recollected tales of his heroism. Everyone in Ayodhya was spellbound by his achievements. After the tales of Hanuman's valor were narrated, Lord Rama got up and embraced Hanuman, telling the world that he could never repay sufficiently his debt to Hanuman. Sita declared that Hanuman deserved more honor than anyone else, and that she definitely wanted to offer a reward to the reluctant Hanuman. Hanuman reiterated that for him, an opportunity to be of service to Lord Rama was his greatest reward. Seeing Hanuman's hesitance to accept anything, Sita decided to offer him her own priceless bejeweled necklace. When Sita actually took off her invaluable necklace, people in the audience gasped. They praised Hanuman for receiving such an honor from the queen and considered him lucky. Hanuman held out his hands and received the gift with absolute disinterest. He began to closely inspect the necklace from all angles. After twisting and turning it in all directions, Hanuman still couldn't see what he wanted to see. To the shock of all those present there, he then began to dismantle the necklace, tearing it to small shreds. He broke each and every diamond in the necklace and carefully reviewed its inner content. He began to smash the pieces of diamonds on the ground in disgust. Finally, after every part of the necklace was inspected and demolished, Hanuman looked up. He found thousands of jaws dropped. None of the people in the audience could digest what had just happened. How could anyone destroy a royal gift? That too, right in front of the queen. When they saw that Hanuman wasn't even attempting to defend himself by justifying his actions, they became extremely upset and angry with him for his deplorable behavior. All the prominent citizens of Ayodhya from different corners of the courtroom began to demand an explanation. Hanuman humbly explained that he was breaking the stones to see if Mother Sita and Lord Rama were inside the necklace. For Hanuman, something was valuable only if it had the presence of the divine couple. And since the necklace and every diamond in that necklace were devoid of the couple's presence, the gift was useless for him. When Lord Rama and Sita heard this explanation, they were extremely pleased with Hanuman's devotion and smiled, looking at each other. For them, he was their real diamond. But the others in the courtroom felt that their king and queen had been insulted by Hanuman's action. Some even began to joke about Hanuman's so-called devotion. They even said that his love for Lord Rama and Mother Sita was only a sham and had no real depth. One of them challenged Hanuman, mockingly. He said, "If you really don't value anything that doesn't have Lord Rama and Mother Sita in it, will you value your heart if it doesn't have Lord Rama and Mother Sita in it? How can you be sure that your heart has the divine couple inside it?" Everyone burst out laughing, seeing the shrunken face of Hanuman. Amidst their laughter, everyone froze. Hanuman now stood in the middle of the courtroom with his chest ripped open. Blood had spilled all over the courtroom. People were aghast at what he had done to himself. With his bare hands, he had ripped apart his chest. But what amazed everyone the most was, within his chest there was a beautiful image of Sita and Lord Rama enthroned within his heart. Lord Rama and Sita had tears in their eyes and the others had shame written on their faces. Everyone in the courtroom fell at the feet of their worshipable superhero and Bhakta Hanuman, the permanent resident. Every monkey came forward, paid his obeisance to Lord Rama and accepted a special gift from his hands and stepped back to his seat. Lord Rama had decided to greet every monkey in the army before the send-off. The previous day, the chiefs in the army had been felicitated. But Lord Rama felt that wasn't enough. He wanted to personally express his gratitude even to the lowest-ranking soldiers in the army, as all of them had done more than what any family member would do. Once the felicitation ceremony was completed, he turned to the entire senior batch of monkeys and instructed them to return to their abodes and continue serving society according to the principles they had learned under his guidance in the last few months. Shedding tears of gratitude, all the monkeys departed from Ayodhya. Now, Lord Rama, Lakshmana and Hanuman were the only ones left. Lord Rama turned to Hanuman, and with tears in his eyes, asked him if he had any desire in his heart. Hanuman, for the first time, decided to express his desire to the Lord. He said, "Please grant me the boon that my love for you remains forever. Let me not forget you even for a second." Let my attention be not diverted from your exclusive shelter and service. Let me not even aspire to serve anyone else in this world who is disconnected to you. Let me continue living till such time that your divine story is told and retold in this world. I do not seek anything else." Hearing Hanuman's words, filled with a sincere desire to serve him, Lord Rama became overwhelmed with emotions and while embracing him, shared his heart. He told him how he was indebted to Hanuman for each and every service he had rendered him. Yet again, Lord Rama reiterated that the only thing he could offer Hanuman for everything he had done and for everything he would be doing in the future was this embrace. That moment, Hanuman took a major decision in his life, a decision people have not been able to comprehend even today. Hanuman felt that since the Lord had embraced his body several times now, he had acquired a special strength due to Lord Rama's mercy. Concluding thus, he decided that he would never go to the spiritual world. He would remain in the material world with this blessed body forever. And of course, while living in this world, his idea was, wherever there would be a Rama Katha going on, he would go there, sit and carefully hear the narration while meditating on the glories of Lord Rama. Even today, whenever and wherever Rama Lila is being discussed, there is Hanuman Lila going on somewhere. The story remains alive through centuries when its message remains relevant to modern times. Hanuman Folk Tales. Lord Rama's Pet. A very good astrologer has come to Ayodhya today. Word spread like wildfire in Ayodhya and hundreds of people flocked at different street junctures to consult this new astrologer. Reading horoscopes as well as the lines on palms was child's play for this astrologer. But his goal was different. He was actually a thief in disguise who had come to steal something valuable. He advanced towards his goal cautiously. As soon as he reached his destination, he slowed down and relaxed. The royal palace of Ayodhya was his destination and he attempted to steal a glance at the royal treasure. The astrologer in disguise was none other than Lord Shiva, who was desperate to steal a glance at Lord Rama, a child in the palace of Ayodhya. When Kaushalya, Lord Rama's mother, heard about the brilliance of this astrologer, she sent a request for an audience with him. He immediately agreed and made sure he didn't show any undue excitement. He was ushered respectfully into the royal threshold where Mother Kaushalya was eagerly waiting with her lovely son, Rama. His heart skipped a beat when Lord Shiva saw the Lord in such a lovable form. What happened next was something that disturbed Lord Shiva deeply. It was a total failure of his entire plan. Mother Kaushalya gently nudged Lord Rama and the little child sweetly walked up to the divine astrologer, bent down gracefully and deftly touched his feet. Lord Shiva became numb. He was flabbergasted. He was embarrassed that Lord Rama had actually touched his feet. What transpired after that in Ayodhya was all a haze. There was a great noise going on in his head. He could hear nothing of what people spoke to him nor could he focus on anything that happened there. Lord Shiva found it difficult to reconcile with what had happened. A few hours later, as he walked out of the precincts of Ayodhya, he wondered how he could undo the event of that day in his life. That's when an interesting idea struck him. That very instant, he disappeared from Ayodhya in the north and appeared thousands of yojana away in Anjanadri, down south. Descending Mount Anjanadri, Lord Shiva contemplated his decision. The only way he could counteract the embarrassment he experienced at Lord Rama touching his feet was by rendering some menial service to him. And the only way Lord Rama would accept menial service as an act of repentance from Lord Shiva was if he served him through his partial incarnation. That's precisely why he had decided to come there. Here resided an expansion of Lord Shiva in the form of Hanuman. It wasn't very difficult for him to convince the already eager Hanuman and his enthusiastic mother Anjana to take Hanuman with him to Ayodhya to visit Lord Rama. As Lord Shiva returned with Hanuman to Ayodhya, he devised a better plan, this time a plan that couldn't possibly lead to any further embarrassment. Soon a monkey trainer entered the land of Ayodhya with his very agile monkey who was dramatic and acrobatic. Hearing the drumbeats of the monkey trainer, hundreds of citizens of Ayodhya flocked at the city square to watch the performance of the dynamic monkey, the likes of which they had never seen before. In sync with the drumbeats of the monkey trainer, the monkey began his startling performance. The children of Ayodhya were spellbound as were the adults. After a short performance, the monkey trainer and his monkey walked away to perform elsewhere. The entire crowd followed, mesmerized. They were unable to take their eyes off the two. Both of them attracted the audience like a magnet. People were discussing that this monkey trainer was such an expert in playing the drums that he seemed almost as competent as Lord Shiva himself. The children of Ayodhya were all over the two and constantly trying to get the attention of the darling monkey. Soon, the crowd reached the royal palace. Situating themselves in a strategic spot, the trainer began playing his drum and the monkey began dancing. Their gaze was fixed at the palace gateway. By now, a bigger crowd had thronged to watch the performance. The monkey and his master were unconcerned about who or how many were watching them. They were waiting for someone special. Finally, the breathtaking moment arrived when Lord Rama came running out of the palace along with his 3 brothers. King Dasharatha and his 3 prominent queens tagged along at a little distance. Both the monkey and his trainer skipped a heartbeat when they saw Lord Rama for the first time. In their effort to impress Lord Rama, the two performed with renewed energy. The drummer began to drum in a way that was humanly impossible. The rhythms from his drum mesmerized all the spectators. One couldn't help but dance. The monkey somersaulted, jumped, danced, spun, and hopped, all at the speed of the mind. Lord Rama was jumping and clapping with joy. Lord Rama's reaction excited the two further and they performed even better. The whole scenario reached a feverish pitch and finally the monkey trainer pair slowed down and brought their performance to a halt. People around clapped, whistled, showered praises and offered gold coins to them. The king himself came forward to reward the performance. Just then, Lord Rama said something stunning. With a sweet voice he said, "Father, I want to keep this monkey for myself." King Dasharatha was quite embarrassed by this childish request. But the monkey trainer and his monkey were visibly thrilled. The trainer lifted the monkey in his hands and gently placed him in the loving arms of Lord Rama. As the monkey landed in Lord Rama's arms, he closed his eyes to savor the experience of the first touch of his master. The divine touch thrilled him and every hair on his body stood in ecstasy. There were tears of joy in his eyes as Lord Rama embraced him tightly to his bosom. He had reached his destination. Everyone's eyes were riveted to the unique scene of their beloved Rama holding a monkey so dearly. King Dasharatha wanted to reward the monkey trainer for selflessly giving away his monkey. As he turned to look at him, he couldn't find him. He looked around. All the citizens tried to locate him. It seemed that he had disappeared into thin air. Was it so? Not really, for he remained in Ayodhya in the form of his expansion, the divine monkey. Lord Rama was so happy to receive his pet monkey that he played with the monkey all day and all night. The monkey too was overjoyed being with his eternal master and he tagged along with Lord Rama and ran small errands for him. And when there was nothing else to do, he would just stare at him. Years passed. The monkey became a part of Lord Rama's life. He was with him when he learned martial arts, when he played with his brothers, when he rode horses and he even slept in the same room, under Lord Rama's bed. And first thing in the morning, Lord Rama would pick him up and embrace him. In fact, many nights the monkey wouldn't sleep in anticipation of the loving embrace in the morning. One day, Lord Rama wanted to fly a kite along with his brothers on the terrace of the palace. The monkey held the kite and released it when instructed. The kite began to soar in the sky with the expert handling of the thread by Lord Rama. The kite flew so high that it disappeared into the clouds. The boys couldn't see it anymore. Lord Rama released more thread and the kite soared higher and higher. At some point, the kite got stuck. No matter how much Lord Rama tugged at the thread, he just couldn't release it. He instructed the monkey to climb the thread and reach up to the kite and release it. Skillfully, the monkey jumped up onto the thread and nimbly climbed up. He went higher and soon disappeared into the clouds himself. As he climbed even further, he realized that the kite had reached the heavens. When he reached there, he saw Jayanta, Indra's son, holding the kite and not allowing it to fly any further or return. He requested Jayanta to release it since it belonged to Lord Rama. Jayanta refused. The monkey assumed its original form of Hanuman and assured Jayanta that Lord Rama would meet him in Chitrakoot. Once assured, Jayanta let go of the kite and Hanuman resumed the form of the playful monkey and returned to his master, soaring on the kite. When the boys saw the pet monkey fly, balancing on the kite, they were thrilled and began to laugh and clap their hands. The good days for the monkey came to an end rather abruptly one day. This was the day sage Vishwamitra walked into Ayodhya. He requested King Dasharatha to hand over Lord Rama to him. After much argument, King Dasharatha agreed to part with his son. On hearing the verdict of his father, Lord Rama returned to his room and spoke to his pet monkey. He said, "Hanuman, our time together has come to an end, temporarily though. I need to embark on my life's mission. You leave Ayodhya and join Sugriva as his minister. One day, I will come there and you shall reunite with me and be an eternal part of my mission thereon." The careless joys of childhood were replaced by responsibilities of adulthood. With responsibility comes sacrifice. Lord Rama first sacrificed his association with Hanuman, and Hanuman sacrificed his freedom by serving Sugriva according to the instruction of Lord Rama. When good times end, time for responsibility begins. A stone-melting musical tale. Monkeys do learn music. Don't you know our hero Hanuman is an expert in music? A monkey mother was trying to inspire her restless son to spend some time learning soft skills. The child was only interested in fighting in martial arts. As soon as the mother took Hanuman's name, his ears stood up. He dropped his mace and came running to her to hear more. Her son's eagerness prompted the mother to narrate a little-known story from Hanuman's life. She believed that such incidents from the life of great heroes ought to be preserved for posterity to introspect on the multifaceted talents of the heroes of the past. The monkey boy sat cross-legged in front of her with eyes wide open and his hands holding his face with elbows resting on his legs. He was excited and wanted to devour this new story of his hero. One day, Hanuman heard a veena being played and its melody kindled his passion for music. Instantly, he decided to master every facet of music and learn to play all musical instruments. Getting up, he ran towards the direction from where the sound was emanating and found the saintly Narada playing his famous veena, absorbed in his love for the Supreme Lord. Hanuman fell at his feet and clutched them, not ready to leave till he agreed to impart music lessons. Within a few days, Hanuman mastered every aspect of music and could play every instrument in incredible styles. He had become a maestro in an unbelievably short duration. After the training, Narada wanted to examine his disciple. He requested Hanuman to sing a very complicated melody. Preparing himself to clear the examination, Hanuman sat on the ground in the lotus posture and closed his eyes. After clearing his throat, he began to sing in a melodious voice. His soul-stirring singing mesmerized Narada to such an extent that he became numb. He could do nothing but close his eyes and sway. He felt goosebumps on every inch of his divine body. He lost his grip on the veena and he didn't even realize it. Hanuman's singing was so intense that the entire surrounding melted in ecstasy. Every rocky stone in the area melted. Flowers rained from trees, celebrating the joy of creation. Animals and birds sat around with closed eyes, absorbed in the divine song. Oblivious to the world, Hanuman continued singing with great joy in his heart. After what seemed to be a really short time, Hanuman ended his soul-stirring song. As soon as Hanuman stopped singing, everything returned to its natural state. Birds and animals shook themselves out of their reverie and started moving away. Rocks regained their original state. Narada fumbled with words to glorify his prodigy disciple. Just then, he realized that his veena had fallen off his hands. He bent down to pick it up before walking up to congratulate his disciple. Being lightweight, the veena was not a burden for him to carry and, naturally, he put in minimum effort to pick it up with one hand. It didn't budge, it was stuck to the ground. Try as he may, but he couldn't pull it off. The veena had fallen on a rock that had melted during Hanuman's performance. After he had stopped singing, the rock had resumed its natural hardness and the veena was now embedded in it. By now, Narada was sweating. He even tried singing to get the rock to melt again. All in vain. Realizing he needed help, he turned towards Hanuman, who was, by now, grinning naughtily. Pointing at the stuck veena, Narada signaled him to help. Hanuman started stepping back. Seeing him step back, Narada stepped towards him. Soon, Hanuman turned around and started walking away. Narada was dismayed. He began to walk after him. Hanuman increased his pace and so did Narada. Soon, Hanuman was running furiously and Narada pursuing him in a hot chase. The two of them were chasing each other throughout the entire region, crossing mountains, running through dense forests and jumping over rocks and bushes. Finally, after running through every nook and cranny of that region, Hanuman came back to the original spot, next to the veena, and sat down peacefully. Narada followed and flopped down next to him. He just couldn't understand why they had run like madmen. After catching his breath, he looked at Hanuman, who seemed completely relaxed. "Why did you run away like that?" Narada asked, visibly irritated and disturbed. With folded hands and a very humble demeanor, Hanuman said something that touched Narada's heart. "My dear master, I wanted the dust of your lotus feet to sanctify each and every corner of this area. There was no other way this could have happened except through this trick. Please forgive me for making you run like this." Having said that, Hanuman began singing again, and in a few seconds, the rock melted. Narada could easily pluck out his veena. Narada was impressed not only by his disciple's skill but also by his veneration for the potency of the spiritual master's dust. Blessing him that his singing would always attract the Lord's attention, he proceeded in search of other qualified and uniquely interesting disciples like Hanuman. When you marry skills, success is born. But when you marry good attitudes, gratitude is born. A successful person looks for limelight. A grateful person looks for the person who pushed him into limelight. Chapter 7 will be coming soon.